I'm meteorologist Bill Murray, and this is your weather briefing video from AlabamaWX for this Sunday, March the 30th. And we've got another Sunday night into Monday morning severe weather event for Alabama. This one looks like it's a little more significant than the last one that we had. And we don't know exactly how significant it's going to be on Monday, but we know we've got a powerful line of thunderstorms to be moving through Alabama during the early morning hours on Monday. It's going to be an unsettled week, so let's get started looking at the pattern across North America. This is the GFS, the Saturday afternoon run, showing the upper pattern up at about 500 millibars, about 18,000 feet, showing a ridge over the eastern United States holding in there tough, broad troughing over the western United States with a bit of a short wave moving through the Midwest, and that's going to be our weather maker here for the next 24 hours. You see that first system lifting into the Great Lakes there into Michigan by later tonight, but more energy moving through this broader trough here over the southern plains into the southern part of Missouri, into Arkansas and the Ohio Valley. And that will bring this line of thunderstorms, this front through Alabama. You see that front is that trough is progressive here by Monday night into Tuesday. It's moving through the Ohio Valley into the Mid-Atlantic, weakening as it goes. Ridging begins to build back over the south, the Ohio Valley into the Mid-Atlantic states, and big trough begins to take shape over the western United States as we get into a fairly high amplitude pattern here with really strong ridging located off the Atlantic coast, and that's going to mean some very warm conditions for Alabama and much of the East Coast. The energy over the western United States can't really get organized, got a deep trough building its way into California. One system moving through the Great Lakes and weakening over Canada. Another system over the central provinces of Canada at the same time. You see that ridging here by Friday the 4th is really strong over the Atlantic seaboard back into the southeastern United States. You can see strong packing of the heights here over the Midwest and the plains, meaning some fairly active upper level dynamics. And finally that system starts to come out slowly out of the southwest, really slowly. It has a hard time, but begin to finally see those heights erode over the southern United States. Big system over the eastern Canada and the Great Lakes phases and become stronger, and we'll see some colder conditions out toward the end of the period. So some of this really nice warm weather that we're experiencing here in Alabama will come to an end. This is the day 2 from the Storm Prediction Center. The storm outlook showing a marginal risk of severe weather for at least most of Alabama, at least a marginal risk. This is a level 1 out of 5 for the period through the daylight hours today and through tonight into early Monday morning at 7 a.m. That upgrades to a level 2 out of 5, what we call slight risk, as you know, in the I-59 corridor as those storms move in. And then an even higher risk, this is a level 3 out of 5, or an enhanced risk for northwestern sections of the state, western sections of the Tennessee Valley, northwestern sections of central Alabama. Now this is being recorded Saturday night about 11:35. We'll get a new day 1, which will be for Sunday here shortly. Probably won't have it in time for this video, but I think it's generally pretty consistent with what we see from the latest day 2 on the day before. So now as we look at the day 3, which is for Monday, covering that period from 7 a.m. Monday until 7 a.m. Tuesday, we see that most of the state of Alabama is still in a severe weather threat. That's for these departing storms on Monday morning over the northwestern part of the state, and as they slink slowly to the southeast through the daytime hours, and may get a little more organized as they get over south central and southeastern Alabama during the afternoon. That severe weather threat may actually increase a bit. But it looks like all modes of severe weather are on the table for very, very late Sunday night, probably after 3 a.m. For much of the state. We'll look at timing in a minute, and there's some uncertainty with it. We'll have to take some of the model output with a grain of salt and kind of talk in generalities. But we do believe that all modes of severe weather are on the table with this system, including tornadoes, damaging winds, and hail. So fortunately, this will be on out of here by Tuesday. Now, first I'll look at cloud cover with you. This is the HRRR. Everybody across Alabama Sunday morning be fairly socked in. Mostly cloudy skies expected. I think we'll see just a few breaks in the clouds as we go through the day. But not anything major. It's going to be a mostly cloudy day. It'll be mild. High temperatures are going to be in the 70s across the areas. We'll see in just a minute. There could be some clearing from the west. You might get a decent sunset in a lot of areas, but the clouds will thicken back in during the overnight hours and, remain thick through the day on Tuesday. Some clearing moves in here by somewhere around 3 o'clock on Monday afternoon in the I-59 corridor, but lots of the state stays dry or stays cloudy the entire time. Going back and kind of taking a look at this, the precipitation and the cloud cover together, you can see a few showers. Let's get this up to, first I want to go back and make sure that we're looking at the same consistent run. This is the 0Z run of the HRRR, moving up to 12Z this morning, which is 7 a.m. Central Time. You see some scattered showers across central, North Alabama, some over South Alabama too, maybe a rumble or two of thunder in there, but we don't expect much of anything at all. The precipitation sort of increases as we go through the morning hours, intensifies as this warm advection pattern sort of increases during the day. So you can expect a few showers, a few thunderstorms through the daytime hours today. Probably expecting about a quarter to around a half inch of rain from this first round of rain and storms. And you see some much heavier rain, big complex of thunderstorms along the Gulf Coast there for southwestern Alabama, the extreme southern part of the state, into the Florida Panhandle. So this is where you see that clearing, probably that first wave moving through. By 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m. tonight, there'll be some temporary clearing. But you can see the main activities beginning to get organized by this point. This is 9 p.m. tonight off the HRRR. Shows a pretty strong line of thunderstorms there in western Kentucky into northwestern Tennessee, with more discrete cells back in southern Arkansas into the western portions of Mississippi, northern Louisiana, the I-20 corridor, back into eastern Texas. Now, those storms sort of get their act together as we go through the overnight hours. This is midnight. Some strong storms over northern Louisiana near the Mississippi River, and our line of thunderstorms is kind of coming together there from southern Tennessee back into northern Mississippi and southern Arkansas. It's approaching the northwestern corner of Alabama here, most likely around 3 a.m. That's pretty consistent timing with the last few runs, and you can see the rain and thunderstorms are widespread there from near and east of Nashville, back through southern Tennessee, Lawrenceburg, also Lawrenceville areas, back into much of northern Mississippi, there from Columbus, really from Tupelo and Starkville, back into Greenville and Greenwood, also in the Jackson, Mississippi area. As we go through time, though, those storms are increasing here by 4 or 5 a.m. over northwestern Alabama in places like Hamilton, up into Double Springs, some portions of Walker County around Jasper, and you see the line progressing on to the southeast here by 6 a.m., approaching Coleman. It's into Jasper. Big storms in Mississippi, approaching the Tuscaloosa area probably around 7 a.m., also into the Birmingham area. So we're going to have rush hour problems. This is potentially problems for schools tomorrow morning, but we know emergency managers are well briefed on this, school system directors also, and they're making decisions based on what the Weather Service tells them. We've had webinars every day for all the Weather Service partners. There'll be another one today, Sunday, at 10 o'clock. to update on everybody on the latest thinking, and they'll be making the appropriate decisions based on it. There could be some delayed start times on Monday across central Alabama, central and north Alabama. Would not be surprised at that. You can see the line of thunderstorms continuing to push to the southeast. This is 9 a.m. Monday morning. It's beginning to get east of the Birmingham area in the I-20 corridor there. The leading edge from about Anniston down to Talladega, down to Clanton, down to Prattville, and areas along I-65 from southwest of Montgomery back into the Mobile area. You can see it's into the Auburn area here by 10 a.m. through Alex City, moving into Columbus, Georgia, and into Dothan here by noon. You see, with the HRRR, we've got it out of the state of Alabama here by 1 p.m., which is great news. A few leftover showers in the wake of it there over north central and north Alabama, maybe a little bit of clearing working into southwestern portions of the state. You can see that, but those showers move on through during the late afternoon. With that clearing, that's a little bit of instability that develops with that. So that's kind of your overall look at what that precipitation may look like. Now, it's going to be a little bit breezy today. Our winds out of the south, 8 to 13, 14 miles an hour, gusting at times to about 20 miles an hour. You can see this as we go through time today. Maybe an occasional gust as high as 25 or 30 miles an hour. These are 10-meter gusts up at about 30 feet, so a little bit higher than what you'll be experiencing at the surface. Somewhere in that 15 to 25 mile per hour range is probably reasonable. As we get into the evening hours, still a few gusts, not going really anywhere. With the main line of thunderstorms here during the hours, Monday morning hours, those gusts will be pretty significant. Right along that line, they're going to be in the 40 to 50 mile per hour range. Generally, some of the more robust updrafts could produce damaging wind gusts 60, 70 miles an hour. But you see, we get that on out of here, and then we're kind of off of that time frame. We've looked at this HRRR timing here. Let's look at lightning. That kind of tells us a lot. This is let's go back to the 0Z run here and move you out to about 12Z Sunday morning. Just a little bit of lightning showing at that point over north Alabama, maybe a little bit over southwestern portions there, especially over Mobile. In Baldwin County, you see the lightning really ramping up here by 9 a.m. With some decent lightning in northeastern Alabama, also in north central Alabama, perhaps around Blunt, up into Morgan and Madison into Marshall counties, some there in western Alabama. So you see we're going to have thunderstorms during the day. We can't really place exactly where these are, but this gives you kind of an idea. A couple of waves of thunderstorms through the morning hours are going to be out there. Now I'm going to take this back again one more run because I didn't like the way I had that placed. But moving all the way out through time, we see kind of a decrease in lightning during the evening until that main line of thunderstorms moves into Alabama, and you can see that general timing as it pushes on through. Now, this is surface-based CAPE, which of course is the available instability for thunderstorms to develop. And early this morning, that CAPE is going to be maximized over western Alabama. As we go through the day, we get a little bit of heating, we get a lot of warm air advection, and the CAPE values will be increasing. You see here by afternoon, around 3 p.m., 4 p.m., those CAPE values are approaching 2,000 joules per kilogram over west central Alabama. Back in Mississippi, they're approaching 3,000 joules per kilogram and even higher. So we'll watch that. But, things kind of go downhill pretty quickly. But we get a little surge, just enough CAPE right there ahead of it, 800,000 joules per kilogram. Not anything off the scale, but enough for those storms to continue to be very active through much of the day on Monday. And here's that leftover instability on the backside, kind of some colder air aloft moving through, causing those instability showers on Monday afternoon. Now, this is our updraft helicity report. The output sort of shows us what we might be seeing in terms of active and organized, tracks of thunderstorms. And you see no long track supercells. These are going to be embedded supercells along the line that we're going to deal with. But in there, we could see embedded tornadoes. It's not out of the question for sure. Going back and taking a peek at the significant tornado parameter, which is always a key indicator to us, going back to the 0Z run and starting out here at 9 a.m. on Sunday morning, we start to see maybe some issues if we had if we had storms here, but we won't. This is a conditional situation. We won't really see storms there, but you see these significant tornado values come down substantially, during the early overnight hours when this stuff is moving into northwest Alabama. But when we get it down into this I-59 corridor, we see some values around 2, around Birmingham, around the Birmingham metro area, and we've seen this spring, that can produce, those isolated spin-up tornadoes. Some higher values back to the southwest, there around Meridian, Mississippi. Some of that moves into west central Alabama, but fortunately ramps down pretty quickly. You see those 1s and 2s continue all through the rest of the day, and then in the afternoon, another round, of conditionally unstable, unsheared conditions for any storms that are ongoing. So we'll watch that very closely. Now, let's just go through the model here. This is your Sunday. Showers and thunderstorms ongoing across the state. That makes sense. As we progress through the day, those showers and storms will gradually work their way eastward and out of the state. We see a secondary low-pressure system trying to develop over northern Mississippi. That could provide that little extra bit of low-level shear that can be a problem. We'll see how that goes as we go through time. We'll look at some tornado parameter soundings in just a minute, just to kind of check out what that might look like. But you see the heavy rain moving into northern Alabama during the early morning hours on Monday, and becoming heavy and widespread. Now, the European, just kind of comparing what it's showing, very much the same thing. The first round moves out, second round moves in, and moves on out, and that's kind of what we expect. Temperatures this morning starting off in the generally in the 60s, lower 60s across most of the area, a few upper 50s up in northeast Alabama. We're going to be mostly cloudy today, so we're not going to see an extreme warm up, but we'll see high temperatures generally in the middle 70s over the Tennessee Valley, middle to upper 70s across central Alabama. Now, by Monday, we talked about it. The precipitation is moving off to the east. We've seen it in all of our convection allowing model output, showing the rain moving on out of Alabama sometime by early afternoon, with gradually improving conditions. The GFS does bring back some showers to southern sections as things begin to react to this new system over the plains. So that might mean that we would need to reintroduce some shower chances here on Tuesday night. I think that's something we're going to have to watch. We start off the day, and this got to get you in the right spot. Start off the day on Tuesday a bit cooler. Monday night temperature going to be cooler, flirting with the 30s over Tennessee Valley. I don't think we'll see any frost. It's not out of the question. Possibly. I think our winds are going to stay up through the night, though, out of the north, 5 to 8 miles an hour, gusting occasionally as high as 14. So I don't think this is a problem. But, it's going to be chilly again Monday night. Lows over central Alabama will be in the middle and upper 40s. Now, by Tuesday afternoon, things are going to warm up pretty nicely. It'll be pretty much perfect day. Lower 70s over the Tennessee Valley, lots of sunshine, maybe some clouds moving back in late in the day over central and south Alabama, but middle and upper 70s, a few 80s there over south Alabama. As we go on through, I really wanted to see Wednesday here, so I'm going to move you forward there's how that rain evolves if it happens, sort of in a warm frontal capacity lifting to the north over Alabama Tuesday night. Some of that's with us into Wednesday. So, it looks like a few showers still possible there. But I'm going to move forward one model run, and I think I'm going to back up just a little further. We still see that evidence of that warm front there. So, I do think we're going to see a few showers, Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, possibly with us Wednesday afternoon. And the Weather Service in Birmingham believes we could see some strong thunderstorms on Wednesday. It's going to be really heating up. Looking at Wednesday morning readings, we're generally in the 50s over the northeastern sections of Alabama, but lower to middle 60s across the central and southern part of the state. But by afternoon, with a pretty good supply of sunshine after that little warm frontal activity moves through, we'll see temperatures well into the 80s across the area, and it is going to feel really like sunshine, or really like almost summer across Alabama. Now, by Thursday, most of that activity is done. We're in a warm advection pattern with a strong southerly flow, the subtropical high to our east. Frontal system to our north is the battleground. Showers and thunderstorms there from southern Kentucky back through Tennessee into Arkansas and into southeastern Oklahoma and northeastern Texas. As we go through the day, can't rule out a shower over Alabama or a thunderstorm, but high pressure should remain in charge, keeping the front at bay, and all through Thursday night into Friday, I think we stay dry. Now, here by Friday morning, temperatures are going to be very mild across Alabama, middle to upper 60s across the entire area. By Friday afternoon, we might even see some 90s at places like Alex City, maybe even Montgomery, perhaps Demopolis. We'll have to watch that because that will be very warm. Now, as we get to Friday, this is kind of how we start the day here with that front still to our north, trying to sag to the south. The subtropical high remaining to the east of the coast of Georgia and South Carolina, beginning to weaken just a bit. We've got strong southerly flow still off the Gulf of Mexico, keeping us warm and moist. We go through the day into Friday night. We're staying dry. And really, that's kind of the pattern there. Now, by Friday morning, temperature's going to look like this, quite mild, especially with that surge of moisture. We'll be middle and upper 60s. By afternoon, 80s again, 90s quite common. Not common, but 90s will be showing up on the map again by Friday afternoon. Now, going on through Friday into Saturday, it looks like the subtropical ridge begins to break down. You see evidence of that to the east. This is Saturday night. Showers and thunderstorms become more widespread over Arkansas. They're moving into the Mississippi Delta, pushing into Alabama during the Saturday night into early Sunday morning time frame. They'll become more widespread. Probably, some severe weather threat with that. I don't think anything significant. This activity continues to sag slowly southward through the day, Sunday through Sunday night into Monday, and takes a while to get out of here. But as we get into the troughing developing over the eastern United States, things clear out, it gets colder, and we'll see high temperatures in the 60s. Another system moving through by Friday the 11th, but it looks fairly light and does not look like it will be presenting much of a problem for us in Alabama. Now, what I want to do now is sample some of this severe weather situation, and I'm going to use the HRRR. Going back to 13Z this morning, which is 8 a.m., we're going to have, according to the HRRR, some heavier showers there over central Alabama, really from Chilton County down into parts of Watauga County, and we'll be watching that closely, but sampling what the atmosphere looks like in that area. Marginally severe, so not out of the question that we could have a damaging wind gust or some decent sized hail down here in this area about that time. The activity down here in southwestern Alabama, down around Mobile County, though, actually, is also marginally severe, and I think we'll have to watch it as we go through the morning hours because it could become more significant. The activity over northwestern Alabama here during the late morning, moving up to around noon, showing some marginally severe. The activity over South Alabama, though, especially south of this little marine warm front, begins to look tornadic. We're seeing Cape values, 1,200 to 2,000 joules a kilogram, and some, not crazy sheer numbers, but with this kind of additional instability, things are starting to look a little more concerning. Some long curved photographs there. For the South Alabama activity, kind of pushing through time. As we go through the evening, central and North Alabama, most of the state, in fact, is cleared out. Watching what's coming into the delta of Mississippi here, because this is at midnight or 1 a.m. tomorrow. We've got tornadic conditions, decent Cape here, over 2,000 joules per kilogram. And our SRH is not really extreme, so STP values are not crazy, but some tornado threat there. And as this activity gets closer into Alabama, we'll be watching these cells out ahead of the main line here around 4 a.m. Southern Winston into Walker, the possible hazard type from the HRRR. Is a tornado. 64 over 63, that's not extreme. Decent Cape, though. Mixed layer Cape, about 1,300. But not a lot of surface-based Cape. So these may be sort of elevated storms at that point. We'll kind of watch how they evolve. But as we go through time, let's go back 1 hour. This being 6 a.m. as the storms are rolling into Birmingham, still a tornado threat there. Something we'll have to, be very alert on. Our entire team will be up tonight. We will not be doing a live broadcast, though. We've really enjoyed doing that the last few times. The logistics just don't work for us to do that tonight. We will be posting on the blog, so please come to the blog for the latest updates. As we get into the morning, passing into Shelby County, down into Talladega County, down into Chilton County, sampling, what we're looking at there, still have that tornado threat. With increasing capes and just under 200 meters squared per second squared of lowest 0 to 1 kilometer helicity. That continues as we go into the day. As this stuff is getting, let's go back and look as it's getting into the Auburn area here, probably around 9:30, 10 o'clock. The tornado threat seems to come down just a bit, but it's still there. And as it moves into the southeastern corner of Alabama, as we approach the lunch hour, we're still in that kind of a marginal severe or marginal tornado look. So that kind of tells the story there. Let's turn off these point soundings right here. What I want to show you now is precipitation. Before we get into the temperatures, this is precipitation off the GFS over the next 16 days, showing about 3.5 inches of rain over central Alabama. That's pretty helpful. But you see there's some areas there that, if the GFS deterministic is right, could get less. So that's the way it goes. Sometimes feast or famine. Month of March, we've at Birmingham at least, we're going to probably finish right at normal for the month in terms of rainfall. We will finish just about 1.5 degrees above normal in terms of temperature, but that's kind of what you can expect there. Temperatures off the national blend of models look like this over the next several days. We'll be in the middle 70s, through Tuesday on average, using Birmingham as our sample location. Then we're going to be in the 80s, for Wednesday through really Wednesday through Saturday. Falling back a bit on Sunday, is that precipitation generally is widespread across the area, and then the cold front moves through, and we fall back with some 40s for lows and 60s for highs. So that's your weather video for this Sunday, March the 30th. I'll have notes on the blog, complete update on the forecast coming up for you at noon. We'll have frequent updates throughout the day into the overnight hours, watching the weather to the west and timing out what's going to be coming into Alabama, and talking about the parameters behind how severe it will be. Tomorrow night will be one of those nights when you'll want to go to bed with multiple ways to receive warnings and be ready to get up early Monday morning in a storm situation. So things may be disrupted a little bit. Certainly rush hour, school schedules could be disrupted on Monday, and we could be going through some warnings. Certainly could have watches by early morning on Monday, late tomorrow night, probably in that 1 to 2 a.m. range. I think we'll see watches over parts of Alabama. They're most likely going to be tornado watches, and that tornado severe threat is going to continue through most of the day till we get the activity out of Alabama here by early afternoon. Well, that's all the news that's fit to print on this Sunday morning. I'll have a complete update for you, as I said, at noon. James will be back with 2 days starting tomorrow. Scott will be here next Saturday, and until I get to sit here with you next Sunday, as I always tell you, keep an eye to the sky, because you'll always have something fun to look at.